and Furious presents Hobbs Shaw. For the sake of variety throughout this video, I'm just going to shorten that to Hobbs Shaw. It's a spin-off of the Fast and Furious franchise, and it stars Dwayne Johnson as Luke Hobbs and Jason Statham as Deckard Shaw. And in this, they have to team up despite their differences to save the world from a superhuman played by Idris Elba, who is intent on unleashing a virus across the entire world. If this sounds like Mission Impossible 2, it is the exact same movie, but with less kung fu and a lot more fun. Now, when it comes to the Fast and Furious franchise, I was never really a huge fan back in the day because everybody in high school just loved these movies. They thought they were the greatest things ever made because it was all action, no plot. This is an action movie franchise that really kind of turned its tides when it hit Fast 5. I eventually watched all of them after careful consideration, knowing what I was getting into, because I had saw that 5 had actually gotten good reviews. By the time you hit Fast 5, that's where they start to do different things within this universe. So for the last 4 movies, they've just gotten more and more ridiculous as time has gone on, and this movie is no different. This is one of the most ridiculous movies I have ever seen. Physics do not matter in these movies. If you're going into these movies looking for realistic fights, realistic action scenes, a plot, story, characters, anything like that, you're going to be massively disappointed because that's not what these movies are. These movies are very self-aware as to what they are, especially this movie. This movie is just a 90s action movie released in 2019. There are so many cheesy moments in this movie. This is not a good movie at all. But man, I had a fun time, and I laughed my ass off because it's so ridiculous in its absurdity. It's a stupid movie. It's a dumb movie. It's nonsensical. Nothing in this movie makes any sense whatsoever. But the moment I see cars coupling up to each other with chains around a helicopter to take that said helicopter down, that's where you know this movie is just complete and utter action that is self-aware, just there to make you shove popcorn into your face. And sometimes we need action movies like this. No, Hollywood, please. No, please. That's not me begging for more movies like this. More action movies like this. No, please don't. Please. Every once in a while, a movie like this is fine. I'm totally fine with it because we get movies like Mission Impossible, the James Bond movies, the Jason Bourne movies, and then every once in a while you just have a stupid, dumb action movie like this that comes along that knows what it is. I'm okay with that because then I can just enjoy myself. I can just turn my brain off and look at how unbelievable these stunts and these action sequences actually are because, yeah, they defy physics. There is no way on earth you're going to tell me anything in this movie is realistic at all. By the end of this movie, I am thoroughly convinced that in Fast and Furious 9, there's either going to be a zombie outbreak of some sort or they're going to go into fucking space. It's going there. They're definitely going to do like a space race in space in the Fast and Furious franchise. I'm calling it right now. Dwayne Johnson and Jason Statham's chemistry in this movie, honestly, the banter between them back and forth, probably the best part of the movie. Because we know how they operate. We saw how they operated together in The Fate of the Furious. It's just funny to watch these two go back and forth, and that's why they have such great chemistry together. I love how one moment, Dwayne Johnson's just like, I will beat you like a Cherokee drum! And then the next second, Jason Statham's like, hold on, you big muscled madman. Ruby Rose's hair is still wet. We're dealing with a megalodon. I just love that between them. It's so great. I love when they just throw jabs at each other and they start to like try and see which of the two is the tougher out of the two of them. There's also a really funny joke that I'm definitely going to use on people. I'm definitely using that. Anywhere I go out to eat to a restaurant, I'm making a reservation, I'm using that name because it was hilarious. That was the first time I had ever heard that. Idris Elba is honestly, he can make shitty movies instantly at least somewhat better, and he can make worse dialogue better. He does what he can with the role. He does really good in this role. He's a big part of why this movie's watchable as well, and he just makes that dialogue really a lot better than it actually is because this dialogue is horrible. Nothing really, honestly, from a critical standpoint, nothing in this movie is honestly all that great, but it's just because it's so absurd, it's so nonsensical, and it's just damn entertaining. that's what makes the movie so much fun, and I gotta give the movie props for that. What I am actually going to knock on this movie is its absurd runtime. 2 hours and 16 minutes. Like, Fate of the Furious was 2 hours and 16. If you watch that on digital, it's 2 hours and 28. Furious 7, I think, is like 2 hours and 18. Fast 5, 2 hours and 10. Fast and Furious 6, 2 hours and 11. There's no way any of these Fast and Furious movies need to be this long at all. There's a couple of cameos in here that are awesome, but at the same time, I also just feel like that's why the runtime got dragged out. It's because we're spending about 3 to 4 minutes with these characters that have nothing to do with the plot and are just there to either crack jokes or just be like, hey, I want to be in a big franchise movie. Yeah, there's two people in here where I'm just like, you don't have to be in the movie. You're literally wasting screen time right now. Again, if you're looking for a realistic action movie, you are going to be thoroughly disappointed because this is definitely not the action movie or the action franchise you should be watching. If you're a huge fan of this franchise, like everybody I knew in high school was, who treated it like it's the greatest thing ever made, you're going to love this movie. If you can just accept the fact that this movie is so dumb, it's really absurd and nonsensical, and everybody and everything in this movie defies physics, and you can just turn your brain off and acknowledge that and know that this movie is self-aware, you're going to have a good time with this movie. And with that, I'm going to give Hobbs & Shaw a B-. Guys, that's my review for Hobbs & Shaw. Thank you for watching. I should have more reviews soon. Still going to try and get a Shark Week review. Don't know if I will, but I'll do the best I can. You guys are the best. Thank you for watching. My name is Alex Madden, and I'll see you at the movies somewhere.